Are we just sideways or?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
I think. Flip it and see if, because if we're both back up, that's fine. Like we can. That's
yeah.
good.
Let me. Someone's watching. Cool. We were sideways at first. Now we're back up. Not sideways. Not sideways. What's up? Welcome to our live draft coverage. Draft's coming soon. We got a TV behind y'all. You can't see because I think that'd be copyright violation.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to see.
Yeah, I don't think so. Hi, family. So, I see y'all are live. Good to see y'all.
Hello, the Lay family.
We're excited. This will be fun.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Get to see the faces behind the Nice Catch podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
For those who haven't,
first video.
For those who haven't,
yeah,
which most of the people have, but we got people.
Yeah, apparently there's listeners in Mexico, listeners everywhere. But yeah, I realized since it's 10 minutes per pick and it resets after there's a trade, and it's assuming there's trades, the top 10 picks could be 2 hours.
Yeah,
but
we'll do what we can.
Cool.
So people are showing up.
All right. I think it'll be a few minutes till we start. So, obviously, we know what's going to happen. Pick 1.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward.
Picks 2 and 3, I think where most of the intrigue is. Because, 1, there could be trades.
Yeah.
Because they've been fielding trades. But, of course, what we think right now is Travis Hunter to the Browns and Abdul Carter to the Giants.
Yeah.
And I like those picks for where they are right now. But I do think that if a team's willing to trade up, maybe for Genty, maybe for Abdul Carter, that those teams are teams that could benefit more from a trade package.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Especially, I think the Browns could benefit from trading down and getting a quarterback that probably needs to wait a little bit. Trading down and getting Shedeur Sanders, trading down, getting Jackson Dart or something. I don't think, or Jalen Milroe, which I like that pick. But yeah, I think if a team's going to trade down in those first 2, the Browns could benefit from that. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Both those teams are teams that probably aren't going to be competitors this year. And so I like where they are having bridge quarterbacks. I do think the Browns can get a good developmental quarterback. Probably a quarterback like Jalen Milroe, round 2. Maybe if they trade back up to the bottom of round 1, which will be late tonight, so we probably won't be live at that time. But
you never. It'll be interesting. We've had some. I remember the first draft that I really sat down and watched was. It was CJ. It was when CJ Stroud was drafted, and the Texans got up and they got CJ Stroud, and then the next pick, they got Will Anderson.
Yes, Will Anderson.
Back to back, and that was not expected at all, and that was huge for them that season. So, some crazy stuff could happen.
100%.
Yeah, and then obviously the next draft we had Michael Penix getting drafted. So.
Yeah, that one, I really wonder if there's going to be someone commented and said Ryan Leaf is going to be the first pick. I hope we learn from history and don't get another Ryan Leaf first pick.
Ryan Leaf.
But, well, I guess that first pick was Peyton Manning, so they did a good job picking him.
Yeah.
But Ryan Leaf, didn't turn out very well. But speaking of draft busts, of all the prospects that we've talked about, Baden, do you have one in your mind that you think is the most likely draft bust?
I don't know if bust is the right word, but I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how Travis Hunter plays out on whatever team, just because he is very adamant that he wants to be a corner and a wide receiver.
Yes.
And he's even said that if he can't play both, he doesn't want to play on a team. So I just think the NFL it's just a lot of stress on the body playing one position.
Yes.
Now you're on both sides of the ball. I don't know. It'll just be interesting. So I don't want to say he's going to be a bust because he's a great athlete, but I don't know that situation will work out the way that he is expecting that situation to work out.
100%. We got the commissioner on the stage, about to start the clock for the draft. So, boo, Commissioner. Boo.
Boo, Roger.
Is that Lil Wayne on the stage too? Naturally.
Yes.
You never know who's gonna show up.
You never know. I'm
So.
surprised Snoop Dogg's not the one calling out all the picks.
That's a good point. It'd be entertaining.
It would be entertaining.
I mean, he did NFL
Seems like
awards
something
last
he
year.
would do.
So, another Jamarcus Russell for the first pick. I mean, hey, he helped set the salary cap higher for rookies,
Yeah.
but didn't really turn out well for him or the team.
Mm.
So, we'll see. But I like what you said about Travis Hunter, because, again, interesting prospect. I think if anyone can play both ways, having been coached by Dion and his skill set, I think he has a better shot than most players. I mean, we've seen J.J. Watt in on offensive packages
Yes.
in the past. We've seen like a fullback linebacker combo. But playing wide receiver and corner on the field constantly in the NFL just probably isn't going to work.
Yeah. And he's obviously super athletic, but he's not built like a Julio Jones or a Megatron who can just take those hits.
Yes.
You know, he's a smaller guy. Yeah, he just with his size, obviously for the normal person he's big, but NFL corner and receiver wise, playing both, a little bit of a smaller guy, taking those hits. It'll just be interesting to see what happens.
100%. Travis Hunter, I mean, he made some highlight plays, and I really like his catching ability. But as you said, he's 6'1", 185.
Yeah.
So not a big guy. But, yeah, I agree that it would be really interesting to watch this year, especially on the Browns, a team that needs a corner and a wide receiver.
Yeah.
They're a team that I think would let him play both ways because, I mean, what have you got to lose?
Yeah, you have nothing.
You got Myles Garrett.
Except for him and
Yeah,
his
exactly.
health. When you think about
That's a
injuries
good
and
point.
stuff.
That's a good point.
See,
You want someone who can...
That's just something I think about because he has the skill to play both ways.
Yeah.
But when you think about career and longevity, and you're not useful to your team if you're injured.
That's a
Is
good
that Clay
point.
Matthews?
It is Clay Matthews.
It's Clay Matthews.
It's in Green Bay, so all the Packers...
Yeah, you got to think long term sometimes, and just it'll be interesting to see if Travis Hunter, if his coaches and the manager are willing to let him play both ways long term, or if they make him make a decision.
Yeah. I mean, he got his number retired, so he must be like a generational
And
player,
Shedeur
right?
Sanders, I mean, they must be the two best players
Exactly.
ever.
Exactly.
Tim Tebow doesn't even have his number retired. He's arguably the best college quarterback of all time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that next episode, too.
Yes.
So,
I'm sure.
stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Little teaser.
Little teaser, exactly. But yeah, talking about Shedeur Sanders, that's another prospect that I'm really interested to see where he ends up.
Mm-hmm.
One where he ends up, but two, or like team wise, but two long term where he ends up. Because he has the talent. I mean, he's Dion's son, but he's an athlete. He has the running and throwing ability, but again, we don't really know what his floor is. He obviously had a bad offensive line, but I could see him not doing that well in the league long term because we haven't really seen a lot from him. He didn't win a lot of games in college. He put up good stats, but so did a lot of other guys who were not looking at the same way as Shedeur. So he's one long term, even rookie season that I'm really interested to see. I do think I've said this on the podcast, and I think I was a little bit ahead of the media on this. There's a few things now the media's caught up to me, but I think that Jackson Dart, long term, and first rookie year, Jackson Dart's in a better spot than Shedeur, just playing in the SEC. Two, I think that Jackson Dart has a better opportunity long term than Shedeur, because Shedeur I think still needs to develop some. I think he would really benefit from a year on the bench. Jackson Dart, again, partially because of the SEC, partially because of Lane Kiffin. I think he would be better as a year one starter. So maybe someone like the Saints, if Derek Carr is out for the season, maybe someone like the Steelers.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be 3 first-round quarterbacks because the Titans are going to pick Cam Ward. Titans are on the clock right now.
Yep.
Again, they're probably just waiting to see if they get any generational trade offers. The next 10 first-round picks for for their pick, but it's going to be Cam Ward.
Gonna be Cam Ward, yeah.
And then
it says they haven't had a first round pick since 1978. It doesn't say that now. It says
first overall pick.
Not first round pick.
Yeah.
First overall pick since 1978.
It's a long time.
That is a long time. Almost 50 years.
Definitely. And then the Saints need a quarterback. Steelers need a quarterback. So I think we'll see 3 in this first round. Mm-hmm. And then maybe if someone likes Milroe enough to trade back into the end of the first, we could see 4. I don't think Louisville's Tyler Shuck is a first-round pick.
No.
He was born in 1999.
Yeah.
So we'll see, though. I mean, crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
We've seen Michael Penix
get picked
at number 8.
after a historical contract for
Kirk Cousins.
For Kirk Cousins.
I just saw a meme. It was like the Titans sing Shadur Sanders, or not the Titans. The Titans are on the clock now. The Falcons sing Shadur Sanders available at 15 overall.
At 15 and picking him. We have to get Shadur Sanders. They just cut their entire offensive line and just draft 4 quarterbacks.
I mean, Shadur has experience with that kind of offensive line.
Exactly.
Just kidding. So, Titans got 6.5 minutes left on the clock. And, of course, as we said, we know what this pick is going to be. But the Browns, we've talked about, are fielding trade offers. And if someone's trading up, I'm a little intrigued to see who they're trading up for. Titans are on the phone, so a pick's going to be in just a second. But obviously we have Genty, Abdul Carter, and then Travis Hunter. I think are the top 3 prospects
to trade up
non-quarterbacks.
Yeah, non-quarterback prospects. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. The Browns need a wide receiver and a corner, so I think it'd have to be a pretty good pick for them to move down.
Yeah.
The Giants, I think, are willing to trade down very easily. There's not a position that's a glaring need for them. Mm-hmm. They have, they have okay quarterbacks for the next couple years. They have Malik Neighbors at wide receiver. Tyron Tracy was a good running back. So I don't think they're as much a threat to take Genty as a lot of teams are.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think about teams trading up? Any ideas of teams that could try to trade up to 2 or 3?
I don't know. I think it just depends on the value, and I think for the Giants would definitely be willing to trade down just because they're in a spot where they have so many holes that need to be filled, but not really. There's not a person that is like, oh, the Giants need to get this guy.
Yes.
Going up to that pick, if we'll just say that Travis Hunter has already been taken by the Browns, go to pick 3. I'm not sure. I think Abdul Carter is a great pick for anybody. I think it would be great if the Bears, because I think Ashton Genty just fits the Bears scheme so well. If the Bears could trade up into that number 3 spot and take him, because he could slide down to their pick, but he could also. It's very likely that he'd be gone. I think Bears trading up, that's a great move, but I don't know the trade value that they have because they have just been. Off-season wise, the past few seasons they've been putting on a lot of work. So I don't know what they have to give, but if they could, the Bears would be a good move to trade up to that 3 to get Ashton Genty.
100%. I mean, obviously Ben Johnson. We've seen what he can do in Detroit with a running back pair like David Montgomery, and Jahmyr Gibbs. So having a pair like that, because they still have DeAndre Swift in Chicago. So having DeAndre Swift and Ashton Genty working together, I mean, that's plus Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, just the offensive weapons that the Bears would have in that case. But again, Genty, it would be crazy for him to slide down to 10 with where people see him right now. Titans pick is in, though, and they are showing a stage in Green Bay, so it's about to be announced, and then we will move on to the Browns. But I'm excited to see this. This is the NFL draft. We talked about in our podcast. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's the season, there's the Super Bowl, but like the NFL draft, anything can happen. This is where, boo the commissioner,
boo the commissioner, everybody boo.
But this is where stories change. All of the stories from college are moving right here to the draft. Round 1, so obviously the stars, and then the next few days we'll see everyone else. So pick 1, round 1, 2024 is, with the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward.
There it is.
As we saw,
no surprise there.
No surprise at all. Good pick, Titans.
Congratulations to Cam Ward.
Yes, 100%.
First pick in the draft.
Congrats. And I don't think Cam Ward's the prospect that a lot of quarterbacks have been. Andrew Luck, even Trevor Lawrence. But for a team that needs a quarterback, I love what Cam Ward did in college. Obviously, coming out of high school as a 0-star recruit.
Yeah.
And then going to Incarnate Word, transferring to Washington State, transferring again to Miami. Just a crazy journey. And comes out as the number 1 pick in the draft. And just getting to watch him in college. His pocket presence.
Absolutely.
For a team like the Titans, who they have an okay offensive line, but his pocket presence under pressure is so good.
He's just an athlete.
Yes. I would love... his rushing ability is good. He's not a Jalen Hurts or
Lamar Jackson,
any of these guys. But he can provide stuff on the ground, and his deep ball is just great. Obviously, he had great receivers at Miami, but again, the Titans just signed Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, so receivers that's looking up.
Yes, definitely looking better, and then...
Got some work to do, but...
Yes, and Treylon Burks was great in college, so maybe Cam Ward could find the potential there in Treylon Burks.
Sometimes you need the right quarterback to bring out what you need in a receiver.
100%.
And so, when there's that connection...
Yes, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Cam Ward this year. Just the Titans jerseys look so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Oilers colors, which is a bonus. But, wait. I might have brought some, we did get a trade. The Jaguars traded up.
2.
And so the Jaguars got second overall pick, 4th round pick, and 6th round pick. The Browns got the 5th overall pick, 2nd round pick, 4th round pick, and a 2026 first rounder. So in 2020, next draft, the Browns will have 2 first rounders, which I think for a team like the Browns, who aren't going to do much this year.
That's a smart
great move for the Browns.
So
who's this going to be?
Thinking Ashton Jensen.
The Jags, ETN hasn't been. I would love for ETN to do well in the NFL, but he just hasn't been that guy.
He hasn't.
So
it's one of those interesting teams where you have a running back, like you're not in dire need of a running back.
They also Tank Bigsby, who
I don't know. This is an interesting. That you think they would go. Maybe defense?
Maybe
Abdul Carter?
Abdul Carter. They have Joshua Hines Allen on the edge. So, I do wonder, could they see Travis Hunter that highly? Because they don't have they don't have a great secondary.
That's true.
And they don't have a great wide receiver core. So, that's a move, especially with them moving back with the Browns. Because if they didn't want Travis Hunter, I think they'd move back with the Giants.
That's true. So maybe we'll see Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter
to the Jags.
Okay.
I don't think anybody expected that.
I haven't seen any mock drafts. Of course, a lot of mock drafts, just to be simple, don't have trades. But the Jags trading up, I don't think anyone saw that.
No,
because
they're just they're in an interesting spot where
because people who were predicting trades were predicting teams to trade above the Jags to get Ginty.
Yeah.
And so the Jags trading up, of course it could be Ginty, but Travis Hunter is really interesting. I see that in the chat. The Jags getting Hunter, and so we'll see. You would have called it first, I think. But I think that's what it's looking like right now. If they trade up with the Browns, Travis Hunter, I think would be what I'm expecting.
Yeah, because it's got to be Travis. Travis Hunter makes sense because it's not like you're moving from pick 20 to pick 2. It's 5 to 2. So it's not a huge jump. So there's somebody who they really think is going in those
The pick is in. I think watching the draft a few years ago when the Cowboys drafted CeeDee Lamb, it was an interesting perspective that you can see the draft room getting more excited when it's a skill player. Because it was between offensive line and a skill player, like a wide receiver for the Cowboys that year. And seeing the smiles on their face, the commentators were able to tell, like, oh, this is CeeDee Lamb, this is CeeDee Lamb. You don't get that excited about no linemen. And it was hard to read the GM room, the draft room right there. But we'll see. They look excited.
They did look excited. So maybe we're going to see Travis Hunter.
Maybe.
But then again, I'd be excited for Ashton Jeanty, I'll tell you that.
Definitely. But again, just the move that the Browns were able to make. Because if the Browns are going to need a quarterback at some point, probably next year. Because Flacco's old, Kenny Pickett doesn't have the ceiling that we thought he'd have. And, I mean, I think next year you have Arch Manning, you have Drew Aller, you could have underclassmen like Lenore Sellers, who had a great year at South Carolina, of all places, last year. And so I think that this is just a great move by the Browns that it's one of those, like, I wish I would have seen this now.
Yeah.
Because they're, every now and then I get ahead of the media, but not this time.
Not this time.
It's like NFL GMs are professionals at what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do kind of know what they're doing.
I guess.
But the pick is in for the Jags, so the Giants are on the clock. Another interesting pick. I have the lineup here now, so we can see when if there's another trade that happens. Because, I mean, another thing, what if the Browns trade down again? What if there's a team...
If they keep going down, the Browns with 3 2026 first-round picks?
I mean, because there's teams... Because the Giants, I think, are good on a running back. So if the Jags don't take Jeanty here, the Giants, I don't think running back is one of their top needs. The Patriots, maybe. Ramondre Stevenson is okay. Then they have some depth. But the Raiders are a threat to take Jeanty. So what if someone trades up to 5 for Jeanty? So here we go. The commissioner again. And I think that is Joshua Hines Allen. I could be wrong. To announce the pick. So let's see who this is. I'm excited. This
Me
pick,
too.
we knew
this
Cam
is what
Ward.
makes the draft fun. Is
Yes.
when you just really don't know what's going to happen.
Definitely, because we knew Cam Ward. We did not know that. One, that the Jags were going to trade up. 2, I don't know who they're going to pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's between 3. Probably Travis Hunter, just with their need.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Ashton Jeanty, and maybe Abdul Carter. But this...
The three top athletes right now.
Walter, okay. 2024 Peyton Walter. 2024 Walter Payton.
Eric Armstead.
Eric Armstead. I'm sorry, not Joshua Hines Allen. But I love the Man of the Year award, by the way.
Mm-hmm. It's a great tradition.
Great tradition. Seeing it on their jersey, it's just like reminds you there's more than just the game. Every time. Giants still hold their pick, but here we go. Okay. We can't turn the sound on for background noise because again I don't think it's legal. But Jags. I don't know what do you think the Jags' ceiling is this year? Do you think they could make the playoffs if they just nail the draft?
Looking at their division, I think if they nail the draft, they can beat out the Titans.
Yes.
I think they can beat out the Colts. Mm-hmm. And so between them and the Texans, I don't think at this point they can kick the Texans out, but sneaking into a wild card spot I think is possible.
Yeah.
But I would think they would have to nail the draft. Travis Hunter at number 2
wow.
for the Jags.
Who would have thought?
I thought about Travis Hunter to a couple different teams, and the Jaguars were not one of them until about 5 minutes ago.
I like this move though. I think he fits the Jaguars culture, especially because the Jaguars with Liam Cohen were kind of a question mark on culture, and so bringing in someone like Travis Hunter who isn't going to be afraid to be who he is.
Yeah,
it's going to bring a culture.
Brings in a fan base as well.
Definitely
brings in viewers.
Yes, I mean the Heisman going 2 overall to a team that, again, doesn't really have that much of a fan base.
No.
I mean, you have he's excited.
He's clearly excited. I would be excited.
Yes, I mean, I would. Yeah, of course, I'd be
I'd
excited.
be jumping up and down. I'd probably be bawling.
I mean, now, you should have several college stars on that team. I mean, what if you were like, hey, someday, Trevor Lawrence is going to be playing for the Jaguars, throwing to a Heisman who played two ways.
Yeah, the
crazy.
Jaguars are a young team, and so you don't know when you have a team as young as the Jaguars, just skill wise, especially on offense, you don't know what you're going to see as those players continue to develop and just learn, get more comfortable in the NFL. Of course, Trevor Lawrence has been in there. This is his fourth year. He's going into year 4.
He was drafted 2021.
So going into 4.
Because he played in 1, 2, 3, 4. So going into his 5th year.
Going into his 5th year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not. He's been there a while, but still, he's a young quarterback, and so there's so. I think the ceiling only gets higher.
Yeah.
And this is a good pick.
Yeah, and I love looking at the Jaguars roster. They needed wide receiver help. Brian Thomas had a great rookie season, but Gabe Davis, obviously, he's a good receiver. But again, he shows up some days, other days just doesn't show up. At least fantasy-wise. And then De'Ami Brown is good depth. Parker Washington is good depth. But past that, having another wide receiver, too, to play across from Brian Thomas, I think it's just a great move by the Browns. And you look at corners. I mean, they don't have a star corner. They have guys who can play. They have Jordan Lewis, Tyson Campbell, Christian Braswell, these guys, but again, no stars there on either side. And so, I mean, if the Jaguars trade up, I mean, that must mean that they're willing to have Travis Hunter play both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think so.
I don't think we'll see it.
I think this is a better situation for Travis Hunter because the Jaguars have some good receivers.
Yes.
See, that takes him playing both ways. When you have people like Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis, that takes a little bit of. He's still going to be, a great option. They're going to want to throw to him a bunch, but that takes some of the pressure off of him, so that he can better perform on both sides and have some wiggle room.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love that take. I didn't think about it like that. Because the Browns, you have Jerry Jeudy, and that's about it.
That's it. Yeah.
And yeah. The Browns, have overperformed somewhat, but pick is in for the Giants now.
They think that, all right, late fan adventures. Chicago going to trade up to number 5, and Browns are going to get a 3rd first round for 2026.
I could see it.
That's not crazy.
That's definitely. I mean, you were just saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bears trading up. Yeah, so if the Giants pick is in, and I would think this is Abdul Carter, so it would be the order that we've seen the draft going, just a different team in there.
Same players, different teams.
Yeah. And so, again, it'll be really hard to know who the Browns are going to pick or who would want to trade up until after the Patriots pick, because if Genty's on the board, it's going to be teams like the Bears that want to trade up, the Cowboys that want to trade up. If Genty's not on the board, then I don't know if there's a player worth trading up for. Maybe if you really need a receiver and you want to jump the Raiders. Maybe if you think Tyler Warren is just going to be the greatest receiver or greatest tight end of all time. Which, I mean, he is insane.
He is.
I mean, we saw what Brock Bowers did.
Yeah, Brock Bowers is probably the best offensive player on the Raiders right now. So a tight end can make some big differences.
What do you think about the Giants quarterback room right now?
So right now we have Giants and then Browns.
Giants, Patriots, Browns.
Giants, Patriots, Browns. You said the Giants quarterback room?
Giants quarterback room. We got Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito.
I think you have enough to get you through one season.
Yeah.
I think your quarterback room right now, I think other teams looking at that, they see other people from outside looking in, you see a team that's just trying to get through another season. And so...
Giants selection. I agree. Yeah, not a long-term option.
Not a long-term option. So
Abdul Carter.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so
as
we
we
went
expected,
defense.
Yeah, as you said, I think that they have a year for the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson can get you to a 7 seed. I don't think that's where the Giants are going to end up, but he brought the Steelers there. The Giants probably have, depending on what they do this draft, even more offensive firepower than the Steelers did with George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Jalen Warren, and Najee Harris isn't, again, who we thought he'd be. But Abdul Carter, I think that this first round is going to be really heavy on defense, especially the edge position.
Mm-hmm.
And Abdul Carter he's the best of all of them.
Yeah.
Just seeing what he can do on the field. He looks like Micah Parsons.
That's exactly, in my brain, I was just thinking Micah Parsons.
You-
Not just because he's wearing number 11.
Yeah, and Penn State.
Those colors.
Both Penn State products. Penn State even had a great year this year, a lot of it because of their defense and Abdul Carter. We focus on the offense a lot. So we focused on Katron Allen and their run game and Drew Aller. But again, just a core star player for, one of the best teams in college football last year.
Absolutely.
I'm interested to see what he can do for the Giants.
This is going to be really interesting. And I think it's just a smart move. When you really don't, on offense, when it's not really sure, you have places that need to be filled, but there's not a player that seems like they fit those spots.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, boosting up that defense is so important. And so I think with the draft, I think that's a perfect pick.
Yeah, agreed. They have okay linemen. They have Brian Burns, I think, is still there. And they have Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence plays inside, so having Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, and Abdul Carter when your division. You're playing against the Eagles twice a year, the Commanders twice a year, and the Cowboys. But that's kind of beside the point for this point, against competition.
That's with the D. The D line is so important. Number one, against the Eagles.
Yes.
D line is vital when you are going Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. That's so important. And then with the Commanders, containing Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
That D line in that division you're in, the D line is so important.
100%.
And that is what can make or break your standings in your conference or your division. Yeah,
your division. So Patriots pick is in, and I think after this pick this pick also, because the Patriots need a better offensive line if they want Drake May to be the guy. But again, there's skill. Jinty's on the board.
Yeah,
Jinty, is going to be so hard to pass up on for any team, especially a team like the Patriots who don't have the greatest running game.
Yeah.
But after the Patriots, if they don't pick Jinty, I'm really intrigued to see what the Browns do. Because the Browns need a running back. They didn't re-sign Nick Chubb. He's still in the market. But you don't have much of a run game there. So do they pick Jinty or do they trade again?
Yeah, so you think they probably traded back because they figured they knew that Jinty would slide?
I think that they just traded back because they wanted draft capital. But if Jinty's still there, what do you think they end up doing? Trading or picking Jinty?
I think at this point, I would imagine that they would continue to trade down, even if Jinty's still there. Because I think if they didn't want Travis Hunter at 2, if they're not looking for that, Travis Hunter at 2, that fills 2 holes in your team, fills 2 positions possibly. And the wide receiver position is something that you really need. And so if they're not willing to take that skill player there, I think that they're going to continue to trade down.
Yeah.
But obviously there's no telling.
Yeah, agreed. That's a good point. They do get more draft capital, but again, if they trade back to 5, that means there's not a player that they have their eyes on that they think is the player.
Yeah.
They're fine.
If they had the player, I think they'd take him at 2.
Agreed.
Because why risk him getting picked at 3 and 4?
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. someone in the chat said Will Campbell to the Pats. And yeah, I think that's probably the best pick. Just offensive line. And it's not a super deep class. You have a good bit of tackles. Not any like high-end interior guys. But yeah, I think Will Campbell is the best tackle in this draft class.
Mm-hmm.
I got a thumbs up on the video. I like it. Hey, first Instagram Live. I'm glad
good.
it's going good.
Yeah,
We've
had some pretty good. Some people have been like in and out.
Yeah, as Instagram Live goes.
As Instagram Live goes, but we've had some good
viewership.
Well, with the viewership, yeah.
Yeah, and just like, I mean,
it's just fun.
What I moved some tables around in here, put a TV up back there. I didn't even know there was a TV in this room.
I've
It's just
never
always
noticed
behind
that.
us.
Yeah, it's always sitting right
Yeah,
here, isn't
I
it?
just walked in earlier today. I was like, "There's a TV."
You got a TV,
And now the TV is
just kind of worked out perfectly
behind you guys.
behind you guys. Yep.
But it's just fun. Like, I'll put this on our YouTube afterwards, which was created yesterday.
There you go.
Yesterday, and I moved our podcast to YouTube too. So
good.
obviously there's no video, but
Yeah.
for people who listen to podcasts on YouTube or YouTube Music,
YouTube Music, yeah.
there you go. We got the podcast there too. So yeah, this is fun. Maybe we should even start doing Instagram Reels. Like,
Yeah, that's
what's up, guys? Let's record a podcast.
Welcome to the Nice Catch Podcast.
Welcome to the Nice Catch Podcast. I don't know. We haven't gotten any comments on the end of our last episode.
Yeah.
But that was... I didn't cut out the end after the outro. So we'll see. It's got to be candid, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. It's just been fun. It's been over a year now. Because our last episode... Let me go back. On Spotify for podcasters. On episode 22, if we count this, is 23. I think it's more like live episode 1.
Yeah.
But our trailer was March 31st. Our first episode was April 22nd, which was 2 days and a year ago.
Wow.
So, who would have thought?
Who would have thought? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that was like, we were in high school. We both knew we were coming here for school. And I was in a different major. We weren't even in the same major at that point.
We pretty much, the majority of our time hanging out in college was the podcast.
Yeah.
Especially because we didn't have any classes together or anything.
This semester's been better.
This semester
is better. Yeah.
We have my favorite class together.
Okay. It's your favorite class?
I think that is my favorite class.
Good. It's a really good class.
I have another class with the same professor, and that might be my favorite class.
Yeah.
It's between those two. They're the best classes.
That's a good point. There's lots of reading.
There is lots of reading.
Half a chapter to read before tomorrow.
That is what I will be doing after the live stream while watching the last few picks of the draft. I will be reading, most likely.
It's a good point. Patriots selection is in. Roger Goodell is speaking to the nation right now. So we got Will Campbell. Okay.
There you go.
This is exactly what we thought. Offensive line. It's what they need to pick Drake May. This is the first not really highlight pick, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward's going to make highlight reels. Travis Hunter, highlight reel. Edge rusher is the most highlight reel player you can get on defense. And so, but again, as they say, on the screen, it says he's 6'5", almost 6'6", 318. 319. But, yeah. I mean, imagine, especially their division doesn't have the greatest edge rushers.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Von Miller and Joey Bosa on the Bills, but they're both older. The Jets, you never really know what the Jets are going to do.
There's absolutely no telling what the Jets, what's going to happen with the Jets.
And then the Dolphins, they have Chop Robinson, just some other depth players. But for a guy like Drake May in a division like this, perfect pick, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a safe pick, and I think it's a smart long-term pick.
Okay.
Got to protect your quarterback, especially when you have a quarterback that seems like he's going to develop into a really, really good starter in the NFL, a really good contender. This is a great pick.
Agreed. So the Browns
pick is in already.
So they knew who they wanted
Yep.
after Will Campbell. No trade.
Seems like an Ashton Ginty.
It does seem like a Ginty.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. The Browns. I mean, Nick Chubb had good seasons.
He did have good seasons.
But they don't have the best offensive line. They have a loyal fan base, but not a huge fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the Browns, your fan base has to be loyal. But I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see if it is Ginty, what the Raiders do. I assume the Raiders will go wide receiver.
To the Browns. I'm just going to let my roommate down slowly.
Yeah.
He's hoping that that Ginty will last until the Broncos. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, I honestly might be a little surprised if Hampton lasts to the Broncos.
Yeah.
With the amount of running back teams that there are. And I think Hampton is a better prospect than a lot of people realize just because of the hype of Ginty.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears could pick Hampton, the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys should go wide receiver first round, and then running back second round, as long as Ginty's not there. But the Broncos, they need a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Ginty just will not be there unless they trade their next 2 first-round picks.
He just won't be there.
Yeah, there's no shot. But Ginty, I have NFL teams that I like. I have teams that I don't like. But wherever Ginty goes, it's going to be towards the top of my list of teams that I like.
Yeah, you have to root for. That's fair.
I mean, before the season, last season, making our picks of college football playoff, I was like, I think Boise State's going to get there. Didn't even know who Ashton Ginty was. I just knew they had a quarterback transfer from USC. Didn't even end up starting. Mm-hmm. But I was like, Boise State, why not? They've been good in the past. They'll be good again.
And that was probably the best pick of the that was probably the best pick of our pre-college episode, honestly.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, the Browns aren't a team that I'm like, I love to root for, but if Ginty's there, it's going to be cool.
You got to.
I want Ginty to go to a team with a cool jersey, though.
That's true, and the Browns, the cool jerseys for the Browns are just not, they're brown.
Okay.
The pick is in. What do we got?
So, Adam Schefter, whenever you see him, you just know, again, he says interesting options, good defensive lineman, good offensive lineman.
The draft room doesn't seem.
I mean, Kevin Stefanski, he's a defensive guy, but they don't look ecstatic.
No.
So
the only one with even a slight smile on his face is Kevin Stefanski.
Okay.
And it's more of a smirk.
Schefter said Shedeur Sanders is an option for them.
Really? A quarterback is fine. Quarterback makes sense. That's fair.
They need a quarterback more than the Giants do. And I think of any of the quarterback needy teams, for Shedeur, the Browns are a great spot because he's not forced into starting. Because they have Kenny Pickett and they have Joe Flacco. So he doesn't need to start. But again, Mason Graham, Jalen Walker, Tyler Warren, some great offensive linemen. I mean, you have Mimbu from Mizzou. You have Matthew Banks from Texas. You have great players out there. But the pick was quick, so they must be confident.
Yeah. Browns going to go defense.
Okay.
That would be interesting. I think their offense is really in need, so that would be an interesting move.
It definitely would.
Stefanski's a defensive guy, like you said. Would that be crazy? No, but I think they're going to go offense here.
Yeah, we'll see, because, Myles Garrett is about all they got, and so they got to plan for after that. But Browns move down.
Browns select.
With the 5th pick. Okay, it is Mason Graham.
So
Ginty is still on the board.
It's still on the board. 6. Oh, this just keeps getting more interesting.
Okay, it does. This is so interesting. And it was defense.
It was defense. You're correct.
And I love
who I can only assume is Tucker. Or Mr.
The whole fam, the whole late fam. Raiders pick is already in, so again they're confident in their guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the Browns going defensive tackle. I love this move for them. Abdul Carter having Myles Garrett on one end and Abdul Carter on the other end would work really well.
Yeah.
But having an inside guy for the run and having an outside guy for the pass, and of course they both do both. But I think this is a good pick for them.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. It's definitely not what I expected at all.
No.
I guess I just imagine that with how their offense is, they'd want to go offense and try and get something started. But they've got 2 first-round picks next season now, and so maybe they see something in the next draft that they're willing to hold off on their offense and boost up that defense, and maybe get a quarterback second round.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. This throws a little bit of a wrench in what we saw happen.
Yes, 100%.
And so, very interesting pick.
Yeah, and I do agree that it's a strange pick for the Browns because, as you said, they have bigger needs than defensive tackle. Wide receiver, they just have Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Running back, they don't have much of
running
anyone. Offensive line.
Quarterback, they barely have enough to get him through a season.
Yeah, and even as we talked about, wide receiver, corner, both of those are needs for them. So the fact that they didn't pick Travis Hunter obviously means they weren't as high on him as people thought that they were.
Yeah.
So defensive tackle is not what I saw them picking by any means.
But it's a good move.
Of course, Mason Graham, great player. A defensive tackle at 5 is pretty crazy, though. I mean, Aaron Donald was obviously insane. But besides that, we haven't seen many absolute star defensive linemen or defensive tackles. Again, we have in the comments.
And we have Aiden in the comments saying Ashton Jeanty to the Broncos. It gets more likely every pick that he's not picked. So you never know. The Raiders pick is in. That's an Raiders could go Ashton Jeanty.
Mm-hmm.
They have a run. In your mock draft, we had Raiders taking a receiver.
I do think that their bigger need is a receiver. But, I mean, Jeanty, I didn't see Jeanty getting past a lot of these teams.
No. If Jeanty, let's see, Jets
have Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, so I don't think they're
Panthers,
going here. I could see that.
That's possible, but I don't know. Saints, I think Saints go quarterback.
They have bigger needs.
Yeah. Bears, if it falls to the Bears,
the Bears are taking it. But, I mean, I think the Saints could be willing to trade back. Because the Bears aren't going to want a quarterback. The Niners probably aren't going to want a quarterback.
No.
So if the Cowboys go up to...
If they trade with the Cowboys, go up to 9, take Jeanty,
and because
the
that's
quarterback falls to the Saints.
Yeah, it's a 3-spot move at that area of the draft.
So I don't think you'd be giving up an unreasonable amount just to bump back 3 spots. Or bump up 3 spots if you're the Cowboys.
Yes.
Like that would be a reasonable trade. Probably wouldn't tank your next offseason, I would imagine.
100%. Interesting thing about Jeanty going to the Raiders is that he's played in that stadium. He played there, I think, in the not the college football playoff. I think he played there in the Mountain West Championship, which was not a great game for him. Let me go back to that game. Look at the stats. Oh, I don't know how to. Let's go to Boise State that way. Yeah, someone said we don't like Jeanty to the Raiders. I wouldn't like it either. I wanna like Jeanty, and I don't
like the Raiders. No.
No.
And like you said, uniforms. We want cool uniforms.
Exactly.
Just playing. If I'm to play into the delusion, Jeanty would look great in a Broncos uniform.
I mean,
it fits the Boise State. He'd have the Broncos.
It is. Okay.
They went Ashton Jeanty. All right, Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders.
Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders.
That's what happened.
Show
him. He's got put. Go ahead and put the jersey on. The Jeanty jersey.
You got it. So.
All right.
Ashton Jeanty, we wanted you, but it's okay. I'll draft you in fantasy still. It's a good jersey to have.
It is a good jersey to have.
There's
There's some disappointment here, but Jeanty to the Raiders. He might have a hard rookie season, but we've seen Josh Jacobs. We've seen running backs do well for the Raiders. I'm sure that they are going to rely on him in a big way. Hopefully that doesn't lead to like we saw with Christian McCaffrey on the Panthers. He was their player, and that led to a lot of injuries and overuse. Hopefully we don't see that because what it looks like from an outside looking in on the Raiders, it seems like Ashton Jeanty will be their player this season.
Yes.
But he's definitely going to get reps. He's going to get snaps.
I mean, if anyone can be the focal point of an offense, it's Ashton Jeanty. Because that's what he was for Boise State.
Yes.
Again, it wasn't the NFL. It was the Mountain West. But he ran for almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns against Oregon.
Yeah.
And so, in this division, you have the Chiefs, who have, a pretty good defense. Obviously, free agency has done a lot to the Chiefs. The Chargers' defense is looking pretty good this year. And the Broncos' defense is looking really good.
Really strong.
I mean, it's the Denver 49ers right now.
Yeah.
So,
Raiders fans are excited.
I mean, I would be too. You just got the greatest running back prospect since Saquon. And he fell to you at number 6. He didn't even have to move up. Just what a player Ashton Jeanty is. I mean, as we talked about in the podcast, I think he deserved the Heisman. But, well, it's okay. Didn't get the Heisman. Didn't get the team he wanted. But
yeah, you can tell the Raiders draft room. People are excited.
They're excited.
Shaking hands, giving hugs.
Well,
not as excited.
Not as excited. Well, it's okay.
It's all right. It's all right. He's who knows? Maybe we'll see it. Maybe he'll get traded to a team we like eventually.
Yeah.
I hope he plays well enough that he doesn't need to be traded though.
Yeah. I hope not. Or I hope he does. I hope he plays well enough.
Yes.
I hope he doesn't have to get traded. But I mean, again, let's just look at Jeanty's stats, 2024. I mean, as I already mentioned, his stats against Oregon, 25 attempts, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he had 8 yards receiving. So together, that's 200 total yards.
Yeah. Jets pick is in.
The Jets pick is in. Seasonal, counting his college football playoffs, 374 carries, 2,601 yards, 7 yards per carry, 29 touchdowns. I mean,
goodness, those are incredible stats.
It's the guy the Raiders are getting right now.
Yep.
And
it's the guy you want.
It's the guy. Of course, this was the Mountain West, but I mean, you look at Oregon, you look at Penn State. He was one of 2 players to rush for over 100 yards against them.
Yeah.
Even UNLV had. I mean, they pretty much constantly had 9 guys in the box or 8 guys in the box. 9 guys would be. I mean, I just throw a touchdown.
Throw a touchdown every single time.
I mean, there were times they had 9 guys in the box, but he rushed for 209 yards against UNLV. The second game against them. The first game was 128. But he the only game, or he had 2 games without a touchdown. One was against Portland State, which was a 56-14 win.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't need to rush for a touchdown there. He still had 127 yards. The other was the playoff game against Penn State.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just the prospect that he is, he may have even been the number 1 prospect this whole draft.
I think I think that's completely fair, and it's going to be really fun to watch him.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to watch Jeanty on Sundays. Okay, but now that the Jets pick is in, what do you think that they're going to do here, Baden?
I really don't know. We had them going defense in the mock draft. Yes.
I think.
Did we go?
I had Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren, tight end.
I just think that the Jets are a wild card team.
Yeah, I think they could go anywhere. I think you're set up well in your receivers. You have a good running back, and so I think defense is a smart move. But going tight end, we talked about this on the podcast, but going tight end, it helps in 2 ways. Because you get an O-line boost, which would be very helpful for the Jets, and you get another receiver. And Tyler Warren is just an incredible athlete. He will be an amazing receiver. And the offensive line boost will be very helpful. That's something that the Jets need. And so I think tight end's a good. I would say Tyler Warren or you go defense.
Yes.
I think if you're not going to go Tyler Warren, you don't go to a different offensive player.
Yeah. I do think that they are a little weak on the line. And as you said, Tyler Warren would be a great help with that because he can chip as he's going on a route. He can block.
Yeah.
But
do you think they might go offensive line?
I think they could. I mean, Tyron Smith just retired. And, of course, he doesn't play full seasons, or he didn't play full seasons toward the end of his career. But you look at their tackles, they don't have great tackles. They don't have I guess that's all their offensive line. They don't have stars on their O-line. And so that's a need. Wide receiver is a need for them, but I don't think it is here, like you said. So they have, in theory, they have a good defense with Sauce, with Will McDonald had drafted really highly, Quinnen Williams, and some other. I mean, Derek Nottie was good when he was on the Chiefs. Obviously, Sauce is just. I mean, he's a game changer whenever he plays to his potential.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Defense is definitely a need for the Jets here, but I do wonder if they just get O-line to help Fields out, or do they not have faith long term in Fields?
Or do they go quarterback? That would be interesting. That would be one of the last things I'd expect them to go. But you never know.
Yeah. I mean,
Justin Fields, we've seen glimpses of franchise quarterback Justin Fields.
Yes.
But that's not a consistent thing.
yes.
So if they don't quite have faith in him, we'll see right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It'll be really interesting to see. I think this shows us what the Jets think of Justin Fields for. Okay, Mimbu. It is offensive tackle.
Offensive tackle, there we go.
The chat called that first, too. So, I mean, tackle. This draft, top 10 was more offensive line heavy than I expected. But I like what we have here. I think, kind of as we were saying, tackle's a big need for them.
Yeah.
And just offensive line in general. And so, obviously, they see Justin Fields as being able to be a good quarterback if they're willing to
protect him.
Protect him.
Go O-line.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So Tyler Warren drops.
Okay.
That'll be interesting to see where he goes.
Yes. The Panthers pick is in. So.
Panthers. What do the Panthers have at tight end right now? I don't know. They have a lot bigger holes than tight end.
Yes. But they need a playmaker.
They need a playmaker.
I mean, yeah, they have. I think they still have Tommy Tremble, but they have Jatavian Sanders, who is a second-round pick. But again, it is a hole for them.
Yeah. One of many.
One of many. With the Jets having a boosted O-line and Justin Fields probably starting for them, where do you think the Jets are going to end up this year? I mean, just even looking at their division with the Bills, the Patriots, and the Dolphins.
I think the Jets are good enough to be better than the Patriots, definitely.
Okay.
The Patriots are
even
still,
with Drake May?
I think so. I think the Patriots are still developmental.
Yeah.
Justin Fields has been in the league longer. He has experience. He has the potential to really show up and show out. I don't know. The Dolphins are. It's so hard looking at the Dolphins because they have playmakers, but they just don't play consistently. So I think the Jets are fighting for that number 2 spot in the division. And who knows? They could be fighting for that number 2 with the Patriots if the Patriots really show up this season. Because we see that sometimes. I thought the Texans were going to be fighting with the Colts for number 1 last season. We saw how that turned out. The Colts just fell apart. And so we could see the Dolphins just fall apart and the Patriots make a run. But I definitely think the Jets are going to be fighting for a number 2 spot. I don't think they're in a spot where they are going to be able to compete with Josh Allen and the Bills. But kind of on the same note as I placed the Jaguars. The same note that I placed the Jaguars.
Or was it the Giants?
I think it was the Jags.
Okay.
They have the potential to get a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But they're going to be battling out in their division. I don't think they're loads better than the Patriots or loads better than the Dolphins, but I think they're just good enough to bump them down and maybe get a wild card.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Good. Yeah, the Jets. Yeah, I don't think that they'll be a playoff team just looking at the AFC. But, yeah, I don't know. I put them close with the Patriots. I think if the Patriots do really well this draft with I mean, obviously they already got O-line help, so that's a huge bonus for them. But with defense, I think they can be around, not in the bottom 10 this year.
Mm-hmm.
I see in the chat the Dart or Sanders question. I think we'll save that for till the Saints are after the
On the
Panthers
clock.
pick is in.
When the Saints are on the clock, we'll.
Yeah, because this is that's been in my head a lot recently.
Yes, and we talked a good deal about that on our last episode.
Yes.
The Dart or Sanders question for the Saints specifically.
Yes. But I don't know. It's yeah. I said I'll save it, so I'll keep my word. But yeah, what do you think the Panthers are going to do here? 'Cause, I mean, as you said, there's a lot of needs.
There's so many needs.
But according to NFL.com, the Panthers their defense was dead last in points and yards allowed. So pretty bad defense. Offense,
you have players that can score points, but you don't really have that standout player.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, he's getting better. You can see from his first season to his second season, he is developing. I think that's clear. You have a running back. You have some receivers that can catch the ball at best. Or at worst, they can catch the ball and do some work. But defense is just, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So I think this first round, get somebody that your defense can rally around. And then from that point forward, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I just had to clear your notification. We're good. Okay. They look pretty excited.
They do. So that makes me think maybe not defense.
Yeah. Or edge rusher.
Or edge rusher. I do really think that. I think defense is the way you go with the Panthers.
I agree. I mean, they need defensive help. Most people have been mocking Jalen Walker to them, the edge or linebacker from Georgia, and we've seen what Georgia defenders can do in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. When Shamar Stewart had a really great combine, a lot of people were mocking him to the Panthers, and I think that was a little bit of an overreaction based on Shamar Stewart's stats in college. But we'll see. Best prospects available still. You have Jalen Walker. Do you want Terrell McMillan? Is my question.
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. He didn't have a great combine, but he's probably still wide receiver one.
Mm-hmm. Do you go? No, I don't think you go O-line. You have so many big holes that O-line. It's not like you have a quarterback that you really need to protect.
Yeah.
Well, you do have a quarterback you need to protect. Sorry, but it's. Let's see.
Yeah. Their O-line's better than it was.
Yeah.
Okay. It is Terrell McMillan. Okay.
All right. That was a good last minute. You threw that out there just in time.
Well, they did say it in the chat too, so thank you. Thank you, live stream chat. You've been helping me out.
Wide receiver.
Appreciate it. Making me look smart, 'Cause I don't think the comments save with the live. Mm-hmm. So watching this on YouTube later, people are going to be like, "Wow!"
You're like, "Wow, goodness gracious!"
But
receiver. That's interesting.
It is interesting, and Terrell McMillan is just a really interesting prospect to me too, because his first game of the season, he had 4 touchdowns. He had 4 the whole rest of the season. Mm-hmm. And his athleticism is really good, but his production wasn't as much as a lot of people.
There's some inconsistency, maybe.
Yeah, definitely inconsistency. You see with the highlights they're playing here, he has athleticism. He can make crazy catches. I'd say he's the first wide receiver drafted tonight. If Travis Hunter is just his own position,
his own little area.
Okay, so it gets interesting, but
things are just not that.
No,
these are since the Browns have traded down, everything else is kind of falling apart.
Yes,
everything else is
100%.
kind of falling apart.
Yeah, the top 5 is about like what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really,
top 3.
yeah.
Or 4.
I mean, really, like a lot of what's happened. I mean, I didn't really expect wide receiver to the Panthers at all. That's the biggest surprise, besides the trades. It's just the fact that the trades happen means the players went to different teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Saints pick is in. What do you think, Baden? We talked about this last episode, but do you think they go quarterback, or do you think they go somewhere else?
I think Saints go quarterback, and I really think they go Jackson Dart. I think Shedeur Sanders, I think he's a great player, but I think if you just look at the Saints scheme, the way the Saints like to play, I think Jackson Dart fits that perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Their coaching, just their offensive scheme, I think Jackson Dart's the right guy for the job. And I think, like you've said, like year 1 starter, Jackson Dart just looks better. He can get out there and play year 1. And I just think that if you look at the Saints from a broad perspective, he fits their scheme the best out of the 2 quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think they go Jackson Dart.
100%. I'm with you there. I really don't know what Shedeur Sanders is going to end up doing in the league. But Jackson Dart, I think, has a higher floor and a higher ceiling. Well, probably not a higher ceiling.
No, I would say Shedeur Sanders maybe has a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
But the floor is much higher on Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree. I mean, even the production that we've seen in college. Of course, better O-line, better weapons, maybe. I mean, he had Travis Hunter. Shedeur had Travis Hunter. But, yeah, I would love for Jackson Dart to get the spot. Because, as you said, much better as a year 1 starter than Shedeur is going to be. And the Saints need a quarterback. Even if Derek Carr is good this season, I
don't think he's a long-term option.
He's not a long-term option. And I don't... Spencer Rattler's not really your guy either. He can start. He's a good backup. But he's not your franchise guy.
No.
Okay, the pick is in. Schefter's talking about... Or that's not Schefter. That's Ian Rappaport. So, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ian.
Sorry, guys.
They're putting the camera on Shedeur. So
Okay.
they have their... They have their suspicions.
I think Shedeur is at the draft, and Jackson Dart isn't. I think, just based on the fact that they have cameras on him. Oh, he's not. He's in Canton, Texas.
Interesting.
What? Okay. I mean, who would have thought?
Not me.
No, that's about the last city you would have expected.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders to be in. Okay, the chat says Bears have to really be looking at Tyler Warren. Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet is a pretty good tight end.
Yeah.
Maybe not. He's not consistent. Well, I don't know. I would say he's a consistently good tight end. And there's a couple games where you see that playmaking ability even more.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say he can continue to be your tight end.
Yeah.
He's not a Brock Bowers, but I think he's a strong tight end.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I do think Tyler Warren would be a good pick, but I think that running back just fits their scheme better, what Ben Johnson is going to want to do. So, okay,
Let's see.
Here comes. This is the pick that I've been waiting for so long. I'm really interested to see who do the Saints take here. Okay. 9th pick. Okay, tackle Kelvin Banks.
Really?
Wow.
That is interesting.
Okay. So now I want to
Look down. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what teams might need a QB.
I want to look at the second round too. Saints have this 8th pick in the second round.
Browns have 2 picks in the second round.
Okay, I didn't even realize that. Okay, because of the Jacksonville trade.
Yeah, you think maybe maybe they go quarterback in the second round.
Yeah, they could, or even use that as leverage to
trade
up for someone like Milroe if they think he's not going to be there. Okay, but yeah, who is the next quarterback needy team here? Obviously, we have the Steelers, but is there anyone between 10 and 20 who needs a quarterback?
Looking at the Dolphins, you
Ooh.
think just when you think about injury, like Tua, just the injury-prone aspect there, and thinking about with his head injuries, longevity.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe you start considering quarterback? I don't think that's a huge need, but just looking at the teams ahead, Seahawks.
Seahawks definitely could be one, because I think that Sam Darnold is good, but even towards the end of the season, we saw him kind of fall apart under pressure.
Yeah.
And so I think that long term, the Seahawks need a starter. And so if, it even could be a good spot for Shadur, being able to sit behind Sam Darnold. Or Jackson Dart. I don't think Jackson Dart would hurt sitting behind Sam Darnold.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I really thought Saints would go QB.
They're really, unless the Cardinals could be a surprise team, because Kyler Murray, he's good. He had that one season where he was almost MVP caliber for a bit. But if the Cardinals don't have faith in him, I really wonder here what they're going to do. The Falcons, would not be very smart to take a quarterback here. The Colts, if they really don't have faith in Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Colts that's not a terrible.
But there's not any teams that it just makes sense.
Yeah. The Saints made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just.
But if you're going to pick a tackle, Kelvin Banks, is a great pick. We saw what Texas's run game was able to do, and the time that Quinn Ewers is able to have to pass the ball. So I think that this is going to end up working out well for the Saints. So
for sure, and maybe they see something in the next draft, quarterback wise, that they were just willing to wait.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they're announcing the NFL schedule release. I hope it happens before I'm at camp this year.
Yeah.
Because we had to do our schedule episode in August last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested to see, especially because there's some days that I'm looking like, okay, if there's a good game this day. Okay, well, I don't think. Wait. When? Let's not. Okay, yeah. More international games as they're talking about. But okay, someone in the chat just said Jerry Jones is going to go and draft Sanders.
I think I would not be surprised if Shadur went to the Cowboys, just because of all. That's been
money.
The money that brings in.
Yeah. Okay, May 14th for the NFL schedule release. It is after I'm at camp, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm excited. The NFL schedule release, we know all the matchups that are going to happen, but it's another thing like the draft. You get to see when all these rookies are going to make their debuts. You get to see when these games, whether it's Super Bowl rematches, playoff rematches, or just of the powerhouse teams playing each other.
Bears seem very excited with their pick.
Okay, I agree. Yeah, what is Tyler Warren?
The chat has been hitting them. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
They've been pretty accurate.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll see. Haven't won a playoff game since 2010, the Bears. So.
Oh wow.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So, again, Ben Johnson offense, Caleb Williams. I want to see him perform. Hopefully, he performs well in Ben Johnson's offense. So we'll see if this is going to be a player for Ben Johnson or a player for their defense here. This NFL says the biggest needs for the Bears are offensive line, defensive line, running back, and tight end. So it even lists tight end there. Let me see if I think Cole Kmet is still on their roster. Okay, their tight end room. They have Durham Smythe and Cole Kmet, who Smythe is a good rotational guy. And I mean, I don't think the Lions even use their tight ends much, and so that's the reason that tight
Not
end
very
is,
tight end heavy.
Yeah, I mean, lots of running. So I wonder, but so what if you go Colston Loveland here, who's maybe a better blocking tight end than Tyler Warren is?
Yeah. Tight end wise, if they go tight end, that makes sense just to fit your play style.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, offensive line is always helpful. And they've had a great free agency, the Bears have. With, I mean, Grady Jarrett. Just a lot of depth players here, too. Okay, it is Colston Loveland.
There it is.
Okay, so it is the blocking tight end we were talking about. I'm really surprised to see him go above Tyler Warren, though.
Yeah. But when you look at the team, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think any other team, maybe not any other team, but most other teams go Tyler Warren. But when you look at the play style of the Bears, going a blocking tight end, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's also a playmaker. I mean, looking at the highlight reel right now.
Yes.
But he's...
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. Just when you just think about pure, I think, talent and just raw ability and athleticism and playmaking, Tyler Warren just seems like your guy.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Yeah, and even like looking at Colston Loveland's stats in 2024, he didn't have just a crazy stat season. He had 582 yards, which was a lot for a tight end. 56 receptions, only 5 touchdowns. Again, he's a tight end for Michigan, a primarily running team. But, yeah. Even their national championship season, 2023, he had 649 yards. And so, hasn't ever been a guy who gets all those yards. But again, Michigan was a run team. And so, this shows that the Bears needed a run blocker.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick.
Okay, that was the top 10. It's 8:17 currently. What do you want to do?
Let's see. Let's go back to let's see what teams we got left. Do you want... I say we stick around for the Cowboys.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we got...
We can take it pick by pick, see what kind of time, but you think we can go through 15?
Let's go 12 and then just kind of play it by ear.
Okay.
Then.
Perfect.
So my phone
we got to see what happens for the Cowboys.
My phone's at
also
28%.
The phone battery might limit us.
I got the phone charger right here, but just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I think staying through 12.
To at least 12.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the 49ers, okay.
We have to know what the Cowboys.
We have to know what the Cowboys are doing, but
my uncle needs us to. My great uncle needs us to stay and see what the Cowboys are doing.
Okay. Yeah, the Niners are another team that really, it's kind of a Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm. They could really go anywhere.
Yeah, because, I mean,
with everything they've given up on their defense this year, you think they go defense?
I don't know.
Just they still have a strong defense, and they have such superstars on offense, but just the inconsistency is almost insane with the amount of talent you have on your team, but it just doesn't always come together. There's injuries and just inconsistency. So if you went offense, you have wide receiver, you have Ricky Pearsall. Yeah.
You still have Ayuk. Ayuk, I didn't even know Russell Gage was still in the league. That's crazy. Jawan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson, they're both good depth.
Yeah.
So I think you're pretty good at wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Tight end, George Kittle.
Yeah, who is old, but I don't think it's
I don't think it's time to.
There are bigger needs right now.
Yeah, running back. Well, running back, 'cause with injury, running back's not a bad thing to think about.
Definitely.
Quarterback with Purdy's contract extension, I don't think. And you got a young quarterback develop. If you get another one, young quarterback developing a young quarterback, that doesn't quite.
Yeah. The chat's saying Jalen Walker. I hope Walter Nolan or Jalen Walker to the Cowboys. I do think, defense would be good. The Cowboys have done a good bit in free agency with defense, but I think a player like Jalen Walker or Walter Nolan, especially the interior, the Cowboys just haven't done great stopping the run in recent years.
No.
But I like what you said about running back. You have Christian McCaffrey, who obviously is one of the best running backs in the league, but is hurt very often. Isaac Guerrero played really well as a kind of change of pace back, but I don't know if he's who you want, kind of just carrying your program.
Yeah, no.
And that's what they got, running back basically. But again, top of the list, corner, I think is also a place of need for the Niners. And
so they say running back, corner, or D line.
Yeah, and both the lines just have a lot of free agency leave, but corner there's still some great corner prospect. There hasn't been a corner picked yet, and so you look at the prospects. You look at Ja'Day Barron, could just be a great prospect for them. And Hampton, as the chat is saying, he's cemented himself as RB2, and so I wonder if this is an RB2 place for them. But I don't think they go running back here. I think they go in a line or corner, especially with. Bosa costs a lot of money, and they've lost. Trent Williams costs a lot of money, and Where do you think?
I definitely think D line.
Yeah,
D line would be a good pick.
Yeah.
What were you asking?
I was going to ask where do you think the 49ers will end up this year? Because
I don't know. I could see them sneaking into the playoffs, but they just, based off last season, they just don't look strong.
No.
Objectively they look strong, but when you just see how their players have executed, I don't know that I even see them making the playoffs this year.
I agree. I see them being more of a bottom 10 team, honestly.
Yeah.
So, if we're judging the reaction by the draft room, they were excited but not crazy excited. So I think that this is
line.
Really it's not going to be a skill player, I don't think. So line or corner. But I feel like corner is kind of their biggest need. But they lost so many guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jalen Walker even could be a good pick here. For the Niners. But Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan, Mikael Williams, Ja'Day Barron, Mike Green, all of these guys I think could be great picks. So they're about to announce a pick. Even Jahad Campbell obviously has injuries, but I think linebacker can be a place of need for the Niners outside of Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Back in Green Bay. Boo the commissioner. Boo. I don't know even how that started.
No, I don't have any idea. But I know you just got to do it.
That's the thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm still saying. I don't know, the corner or line. Just anything there is what the Niners need.
Yeah, I think corner, especially when you think about how they lost.
Okay, it is Mikael Williams. Not the edge player from Georgia that I thought was going to go first. Most mocks had Jalen Walker going first. But yeah,
at the linebacker position though, with
Fred Warner.
With Fred Warner, it makes sense to maybe go. Is Mikael Williams? Is he more like?
He's more of an edge rusher.
Okay, yeah. So that's fair.
Yeah, especially again, with their division, the passing attacks with the Rams and the Seahawks. You need edge rushers.
We are on pick. We just had pick 11.
Yes. Thank you. Question in the chat. Just had pick 11, so about to be pick 12. That's kind of how numbers work.
So we're on pick 12 now.
Sorry.
The Cowboys.
Yeah, we're on the Cowboys pick, and they're on the clock. Pick is not in yet, but I mean, imagine playing the 49ers and Bosa's on one side and Mikael Williams is on the other side.
Not fun. Not fun.
Definitely not fun. So, Cowboys pick is in.
That was quick.
It was quick.
They had somebody. I think it's Shadur Sanders.
Please no.
They'll probably go.
But we just traded for Jalen Milroe too, and of course he's not the prospect that Shadur Sanders was. But I love Wait, sorry, I said Jalen Milroe. Joe Milton.
Joe Milton.
I love Joe Milton.
I knew who you were talking about.
But please, no. I see Shadur at best being another 10 years of Dak.
Yeah.
No.
Probably there's probably some wise counsel in the draft room.
They're excited.
Oh my gosh.
They're really excited.
It's Shadur Sanders.
Maybe
not.
Could it be Hampton though?
It could be Hampton.
I would rather it be Hampton, but I would love it to be wide receiver here. Matthew Golden he's not the star that like a Jamar Chase was coming out of college, but he has the speed and the route running. If you look at other wide receivers, Igbuka, Ohio State wide receivers have been so good in recent years.
Yeah.
And so either of those guys, even Luther Burden has been good. And so I would love either of those guys to be the Cowboys pick. Here we have. If it's Shadur Sanders, no, I can't.
That's it. We'll end the live
stream. That'll be it. Whoever it's going to be. The Cowboys, I think if they nail the draft, can be... Okay, Tyler Booker. We didn't talk about guard. The Cowboys have had great offensive line picks in recent history. So I love this. Not going too risky with skill players or Shadur Sanders. I can breathe.
You're safe there.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. Appreciate it in the chat. But I like that with the new regime in Dallas, with Brian Schottenheimer, they're starting out strong with the offensive line.
Yeah, that's a good pick. It's a safe pick.
Safe pick. I mean, you look at Tyler Smith has been really good. Tyler Guyton, I think still has some work to do, but has a bright future. And Tyler Booker, I don't know what our offensive line scouting looks like, but I think Tyler Booker he's a great pick. We didn't even talk about guard. We were just too concerned about Shadur.
We were too concerned about it not being Shadur Sanders to pick guard.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Let's look back real quick, and then maybe the Dolphins will pick by then. I think now is around a good place to stop.
I think it's a good place
8:30. It's been an hour and a half. Be a good long first YouTube video. So we had Cam Ward,
number 1 for the Titans.
Then we had a trade back, and the Jags got
Travis Hunter. So let me pull up the first round mock draft from the Nice Catch podcast made by Hank Lay. Yours truly.
Thank you.
All right,
I tried.
Titans at number 1, Cam Ward. So Titans at number 1, Cam Ward. So he had Travis Hunter at 2, but
to the Browns.
So some inconsistency there, but still Travis Hunter at 2. Number 3, Abdul Carter to the Giants, and
here we go.
That's what we saw. Number 4, he had the Jaguars taking Mason Graham. Or number 4, sorry, yeah. Patriots taking Will Campbell. That's what we had.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, he had Mason Graham going to the Jags. Mason Graham went to the Browns.
So I had the top 5 player-wise right.
Yes.
Of course, you can't.
It's hard to predict
the trades.
The trades.
Especially the Jags.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I would have predicted. So I'm glad we've had some crazy trades already.
That makes it fun.
So fun. All right, keep going down.
Number 6, he had McMillan going to the Raiders, and we had Ashton Genty going to the Raiders, and today that's what happened. Number 7, we had Tyler Warren to the Jets. Had Mimbo going to the Jets. They went tackle.
Yeah, I had Mimbo going, or I guess you'll get to that. So.
Number 8, Jalen Walker, who's still
on the board.
Still on the board. Oh, let's see.
This is still the Cowboys.
Oh, still the Cowboys. Okay.
Because they're showing Milrow highlights because of Tyler Booker.
Because of Tyler Booker.
Not because of Milrow.
So Jalen Walker going to the Panthers, and what happened was
McMillan.
Was McMillan going to the Panthers. So some surprise there.
Yeah.
And then 9, he had Shedeur Sanders going to the Saints.
I think while we were doing the episode, I was like, yeah, I do Dart instead. Doesn't matter. I was still wrong.
Yeah.
But
Either way, Dart or Shedeur didn't end up happening. And then he had number 10, Ashton Genty to the Bears. Ashton Genty, of course, has already been taken.
Yeah.
They went tight end with Loveland.
Okay. I had Loveland going to the Chargers originally.
Loveland to the Chargers at 22.
And I had Kelvin Banks going to the Dolphins originally.
At 13. And then 49ers, they went Mikael Williams. You had them going Armin Mimbo, who got taken earlier. And then number 12, you had the Cowboys going receiver.
I had Egbuka. And I don't even think I had Tyler Booker in the first round, just because we have so many good tackles in this class that I took tackles before the guards.
You didn't have him going in the first round.
I did not.
Very interesting.
Let's cover the Dolphins pick, kind of analyze that, and then hop off. What do you think?
Sounds good. We already said this, but you had at 13 Banks going to the Dolphins. He's already been taken.
He's gone. So I had tackle.
Tackle. Let's see what else we got for tackle.
What other tackles we have still available in this draft? Josh Simmons from Ohio State. We've already had 3 tackles taken, so 4 tackles in the top 13 would be a lot. Josh Simmons is probably the only one I'd take this high, and I think that might be a reach for him here too. But the pick is in. I think that this could even be a great Tyler Warren landing spot.
For the Dolphins.
Because the Dolphins, just the way their offense works, Tyler Warren is a perfect fit. Again, the Dolphins have probably some defensive holes that should be filled first. But I think that Tyler Warren fits their offensive scheme really well. Or even offensive line. I mean, Teron Armstead retired. And so I like offensive line to the Dolphins as well.
Yeah.
So offensive line, defense, or Tyler Warren. Because Tyler Warren's still available.
Tyler Warren's still there.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the Dolphins. Helps if I spell it right. Dolphins. Did you know that the Miami Heat have number 13 retired because of Dan Marino?
That's very interesting.
Yep.
Because Miami Heat is a basketball team.
Yep.
Hey, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Dan Marino, hey, great player. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to retire any jersey in Miami.
Dan Marino is he's the one. Even if it's the wrong sport.
Fair point.
Dan Marino had a basketball jersey number retired from him faster than.
Well, he also played way before Tim Tebow.
No, I was thinking LeBron James, who actually played for Miami Heat. Is his number still in use?
Let's see. Well, he also wore number 23. And I think they've since retired 23 for Michael Jordan.
I was gonna say if a football player in Miami got his basketball number retired before a basketball player in Miami, that'd be pretty funny.
Okay, it is retired now. Okay. I should know. I don't know basketball very well. He might have worn 6 for the Heat. He did wear 6 for the Heat.
Okay, I was going to say that'd be kind of funny.
And I think they have retired it now. Okay, they're showing Shedeur. If the Dolphins go Shedeur,
that would be interesting.
That
honestly would be. That's not a bad pick.
It's not,
but they just have other picks.
They have, and I think they have Zach Wilson as a backup, who isn't a second overall pick. The way he's playing right now, but still is probably. I don't think you want Shedeur right now, but we'll see. Here it is. We'll talk about it, and then we'll. Okay. Dolphins just picked Kenneth Grant. So, yeah.
Kenneth Grant,
defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle.
There's people through the window. So, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle. Yeah. Again, defense for the Dolphins.
That's a good move.
I like
good
it.
Pick. Yeah. It's getting more interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where Shedeur lands. If he goes down to second round.
Yeah. Or the Steelers. Or do the Steelers want Jackson Dart?
Or do they... Goodness.
Crazy. Who... Definitely not how I would have expected it.
No,
nothing.
Any of this to go.
Nothing.
Not any of it, but a lot of it has been a surprise.
Yeah. I don't think there has been a pick quite like Michael Penix yet that doesn't make sense.
Groundbreaking.
Colston Loveland was probably the most confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Tetrell McMillan was not confusing, just like maybe seeming like they neglected some of their other holes in the draft. But dude, this is fun.
It was a lot of fun.
There's
still a lot of draft left, and in our episode, the next time we record, we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, all 7 rounds. This is 13 picks, and there's 260 something picks.
Yep.
Crazy. Well, cool. You ready?
Ready.
All right.
All right.
We'll see y'all guys later.
Thank you for watching. First Nice Catch podcast live stream.
100%. We'll keep y'all updated. Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
All right.
We'll see y'all later.
Peace out.